regarding the Engage Nepal. As
Mhm.
as a social worker, let's say I would say, if you don't mind, I would say as a social worker in Nepal, how how are you like planning to go for further with Engage Nepal, and what, two questions at the same time, I'm so sorry about that. So what was your dream when you started the Engage Nepal?
Listen, I Engage Nepal was created before I left Uganda, where I'd been ambassador. It was created before the earthquake struck in Nepal. And the focus of the organization at that time was going to be on disaster risk reduction and preparedness, something that I talked about all the time when I was ambassador in Nepal, recognizing that we needed to act now.
That's right.
We needed to act before the earthquake struck because we knew it was coming. But we needed to take those steps to prepare, to make a difference, to try to save lives, to ensure that when the earthquake came, the disaster was not quite as bad, that not as many people died, that not as many people experienced horrific hardship or illness afterwards, all of these things. And so that's why the organization was created. I joined after I retired, and that was in December of 2015. And by then the earthquakes had struck.
Uh-huh.
The organization was still very young. Didn't have much, it was still determining where it would go, how it would move forward. And we engaged early on in some helping with some disaster relief, helping to build a few homes, helping with the school rebuilding, doing what we could. We didn't have much in resources, still don't, but we've done better each year. But we realized as well as we went forward, we will always be trying to prepare for the next disaster because another disaster will hit. But we can't be so focused on the next disaster that we forget that there are vulnerable people every day. And they can't begin to take the steps to prepare for the future if they're having trouble just coping in the present.
Mm-hmm.
So we have also focused ourselves on issues of livelihoods, of health, of education, and we help where we can. Yeah, again, we are not a huge multi-million-dollar organization, far from it. But although our projects may be small, I like to believe that at least for the people that we are serving, they are changing their lives. We're having an impact on them. We are helping them to build a better future. We're helping to save a baby who might be severely malnourished. We're helping a kid to stay in school. We're helping a woman or a group of women to fulfill their dream of being entrepreneurs and make a difference for their families. Mm-hmm. It's all these sorts of things, bringing basic health care to people who need it, helping an ambulance service to become more effective and train paramedics, all of these things. And so when I started, part of it was, I know Nepal. There's this organization. I can help them to engage there. And so I wanted to do it, but it was also, it's because I care about Nepal, yes. And I have come to have a great, deep and abiding affection for the people of Nepal. I truly do. But equally, it was an opportunity for me, mm-hmm. and this very selfish perhaps, but on a personal level, to continue to find that meaning that my almost 40 years of service to our government have given me. When I joined our government, the whole idea was I was joining to serve. Now, I didn't realize that at the time. I just needed a job. But you quickly realized, friend, that this was about service. It was about a commitment to making a difference. A difference not only for our nation, but for the world. Mm-hmm. For expressing and believing and advancing values that I believe matter, that are important. And the opportunity to continue to be engaged in a way that allows me to perhaps represent and articulate and model the values that I believe in. For me personally, that matters. And through Engage Nepal, I have an opportunity to do that. And Yeah, people may
Yeah.
like what we do. They may not like what we do. That's okay. They can, yeah, this isn't, it's not for them.
But you've been doing
It's,
really awesome job for Nepal, sir. I really
well,
appreciate your like time and then efforts, everything you've been doing for Nepal. And then so many friends from Nepal, they've been like telling me like you have to talk to him because he is the person who really loves Nepal. And then I, your dedication for Nepal is really appreciated.
and yeah, the goal is always I know that our organization, no one organization is ever going to solve all the problems. But if we can continue to message, if we can continue to make people aware, if I can help to build a platform where we can share information to do something good today alone. So I'll tell you just a little story. I'm sorry, I've got some light coming in through my blinds here now.
That's okay.
There, there is an organization in Germany that is interested in and committed to doing some good work in Nepal. And they too are troubled by what's going on with the pandemic. And they wanted to help. And I happen to be working with an organization called Physicians for Social Responsibility. And we've helped them to feed like about 300 families down in Bratnagar recently.
Wow.
And they did a good job and they helped these families and provided much needed food relief for them. And this organization was looking for a way to partner. So we were able to help put them together with the Physicians for Social Responsibility. And I believe this German organization is going to send them the funds that they need to begin a program that I wanted to support as well, to do some work in the quarantine camps where conditions are very rough at the moment, as we all know. So I didn't, I'm not sending the money to help with the quarantine camps. I'll send it somewhere else. I mean, we'll keep putting the money out there. But the important thing is we're building a network. Here in the US, we're partnering with Nepal Rising, a group of young Nepalese across the United States. And they, as an organization, are also committed to making a difference. And they're committed to transparency and accountability. So we say, what can we do together? And we've split the cost of projects. We're creating platforms. And I hope that we will bring in ever more partners. We've done some work with the American Nepal Medical Foundation, a wonderful organization working in the health sector in Nepal and making a huge difference. And I was happy that we were able to contribute and be part of one of their programs recently. It's about building partnerships and communicating and sharing the word. And the more we do that, the more we have the potential to build these partnerships. And that's what I hope is going to make the difference. And I hope that we will see a greater range of support, because that's the last thing I would say is, again, we're small. And yeah, I'm not a wealthy man. I work for the government. And that's fine. So we count on our donors. Everything we've done is because we've had people who cared, donors who said, how can we help? And sometimes those donors, sometimes it's $10. Sometimes it's $10 a month. That's even better, having sustaining partners like that. But no matter what it is, whether it's a gift of $5 or $500 or $5,000, every penny helps. And I will say to you that right now, the commitment I've made to everyone is over the next few months, every penny we bring in is going back out to Nepal. Nothing's staying here, in other words, because there's a crisis. And yeah, I've got enough in the bank to cover our operating costs. And so I can do that. So anything else that we bring in, it's going out. At the end of the year, I'll probably have nothing left again. Yeah, but that's what happens to us every year. And we start all over. And I hope it'll be successful. I hope we'll continue to make a difference for the people of Nepal. But if we fail, at least we tried. Because nothing changes if we don't try.
Yeah, so impressive, so impressive. But the last question here is like, you served as an ambassador to the Uganda, Eritrea, or like as an diplomat officer, you served India,
Mhm.
Pakistan, Sri Lanka, as well as like various posting in Washington DC. But what are the reasons that you are loving to Nepal?
You guys always ask, people always are asking me this, and I have to believe that people have heard this answer 1,000 times and are probably tired of it.
I'm so sorry about
But
that. I can
no,
see.
no, but I'm happy to answer it. It's, again, there is something special about Nepal. And I think you find if you ask most Americans or most visitors who go to Nepal, they come away with a different perception. And they say, oh, there's just something about this country. Yeah, and I served and I lived in Sri Lanka, as you say. I served in India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, traveled to the Maldives, traveled to Bangladesh. I know South Asia. There's something special about the culture and the people. So Nepal, I always say, it's a beautiful country. And that is a feast for our senses, and that's great. And I just fell in love with it the first time I saw it. Oh God, this is so pretty, beautiful and so interesting. And it's interesting because it's culturally diverse. And there's this great richness from all the ethnic groups and tribal communities and all the rest and the different cultures. And that's a treat for our minds. It engages our intellects, and that's really great too. That's very cool. But it's the people of Nepal who, at the end of the day, that's what makes the difference. And I have found again and again that, and maybe this has to do with the nature of faith as well, that combination of Hinduism and Buddhism, how they have come together and manifested in the people and in the culture and in the society, in the way that people engage each other. And no, Nepal is not perfect. Yeah, it's not Shangri-La, no country is. But I still found in the people of Nepal a generosity, a spirit,
Mhm.
a decency, a compassion and openness that is unlike anything that I saw elsewhere in South Asia, elsewhere in most of the places I've served. And that the people of Nepal touched my heart, and they touched my wife's heart, and they engaged us. I still can remember one of my first trips as a young Foreign Service officer when I went to Nepal, and I went to a village, and they insisted you have dal bhat. You've got to have dal bhat.
Oh,
They have nothing,
mhm.
but they would share it with this American because it's what you do. We take care of each other, we support each other, and we see this time and again that despite the poverty, despite the challenges, despite failed leadership on many occasions, despite all of this, the people of Nepal have often sustained each other, supported each other. That's why communities are strong. That's why we focus on communities. So anyway, so it's all of that, Prem. So Nepal is a special place in my heart.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I'm really proud of you. And then I really appreciate your valuable thoughts and time in this evening. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
It's my pleasure. You take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you now. All right. We'll talk soon. All right.
Of course. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.